No, it definitely don't matter. You know, the odds can't fight for him. So, it is what it is. I expect him to, box a little bit, but I also expect him, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, we expect everything. Both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to
In a recent live talk, Terence Crawford issued a clear warning to Canelo Alvarez ahead of their September showdown. While Crawford is vocal, Canelo remains laser-focused in camp, perfecting his craft in silence. Every step of Canelo's preparation reflects his determination to deliver another signature performance. The calm before the storm is deafening. Shane Mosley weighed in, calling it a potential classic, two of the best technicians in the sport. But Mosley didn't hesitate to highlight the size disparity. Most people don't realize just how big Canelo really is, he said. While he respects Crawford's skill, Mosley gave the edge to Canelo, who's naturally 2 divisions bigger, predicting that the weight will ultimately be the deciding factor.
I think both guys are great fighters, but I think Canelo's just too big, and they mistake him as being just a guy at 168, not a regular guy, and Crawford being the more talented. But that's not the case. They're both talented. Yeah. But the only thing is, Canelo has some by 2 weight divisions. So I think that Canelo beats him pretty easily. But we'll see. If Crawford does good, I mean, kudos to Crawford. I'm happy for him. If he can pull off, great. But my mental, my mind's telling me that Canelo's gonna.
Still, Mosley admitted Crawford could win, but only if he dictates the pace. Crawford has to fight a smart, controlled battle, Mosley explained. Keep it at range, use movement, and avoid brawls. That's not running, that's strategy. He praised Bud's ring IQ, but warned that the weight gap could prove too much in the end.
I think that maybe, I don't have to be all the way boring, but maybe it has to be a boring spot. Yeah. So just because he's moving around and keeping his distance don't mean that he's running, right? Yeah. So if he can move and just stay a little bit outside the pocket long enough, then maybe he can win. But I'm thinking Canelo's gonna win. I think Canelo's gonna get a fight because Crawford is a fighter. He's a true fighter. He's a real fighter, but he's in a wrong.
For his part, Crawford agreed that Canelo would try to be himself in the ring, walking him down, applying pressure, and leaning into his natural strength advantage. Crawford didn't deny that Canelo was physically stronger, but he made one thing clear: he's ready for it. Ready for Canelo's pressure, ready for Canelo's power, and ready to fight fire with fire.
I'm expecting Canelo to be Canelo. He's the bigger man. I expect him to, box a little bit, but I also expect him, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, we expect everything. It definitely don't matter. The odds can't fight for him. So,
Crawford encouraged fans to tune in on September 13th, promising a war between 2 elite fighters. One trying to defend his throne, the other out to steal it. We both have a lot to lose, and even more to win, Bud said. This isn't just a fight, it's a legacy night.
Spectacular fight. You got 2 great fighters, going head to head, and trying to dethrone. You got one fighter trying to dethrone the other one, and you got the other one trying to, stay at the top. So, it's going to be a great fight. Both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to...
Meanwhile, trainer Robert Garcia fired back at Canelo's recent claim that Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather. Garcia dismissed the comparison, saying it made no sense. Floyd and Crawford have totally different styles, he explained. And let's not forget, Canelo was only 23 and still maturing when he fought Mayweather. Garcia acknowledged Crawford's skill and speed, but maintained that comparing him to Floyd is apples to oranges.
I think it's totally different. I think, Canelo was only 23, was very young. I think this fight's gonna be great. I do see Crawford maybe pulling it up because he's got good footwork, good speed, but I don't think they're close. I don't similar those two fights, Canelo and Floyd. I think they're just different styles. I mean, Floyd and
Crawford also addressed the ongoing pound-for-pound debate. That title is subjective, he said. Some people already say I'm number one, others say I'm 2 or 3. But beating Canelo at his weight, that would end all discussion. Crawford knows what's at stake. A chance to cement his place as the best fighter on the planet.
Some people got me as number 1 right now. Some people got me number 2. Some people got me number 3. It's opinionated. But yeah, for sure, beating the likes of Canelo, in a division that is not my natural division would definitely cement my legacy as the best pound-for-pound fighter.
Manny Pacquiao, the 8th division legend, weighed in on the fight, calling Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford a massive and exciting showdown. But Manny believes Canelo holds an edge. Not because of skills, but because Crawford is gaining weight, something that's never easy in boxing. He advised Crawford to focus on retaining and sharpening his speed and strength, noting how difficult it is to put on muscle without sacrificing explosiveness. Speed is everything, Pacquiao said, urging Crawford to prioritize footwork, timing, and sharp power punches to remain competitive at 168.
Crawford, good fight. Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength, because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve.
Boxing commentator Caramel Molina called the September mega fight historic, praising Crawford's bold decision to jump 2 weight classes in pursuit of greatness. Molina admitted that smaller fighters moving up rarely succeed, but believes Crawford has a real shot. This is legacy stuff, he said. Yes, it's a huge leap, but it's not impossible. Molina sees the fight as a true 50-50 battle, saying it will come down to who executes better on the night. And win or lose, he believes the real winners are the fans, calling it one of the most compelling matchups in modern boxing.
Not for sure, but I feel like Crawford definitely has a great chance. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. I really don't know who will come out on top of that one. I feel like the better man that night will win. So I feel like the fans are the winners tonight.
Former world champion Keith Thurman emphasized that all eyes are on Crawford. Canelo will be Canelo, Thurman said, but Crawford is stepping into the unknown. Thurman stressed that success will depend on Crawford's preparation and adaptability, and advised him to rely on his jab, feints, angles, and movement. He compared the situation to how Jermall Charlo reacted after feeling Canelo's power, suggesting that survival and strategy are key. It's not always about winning exchanges, he explained. It's about hitting without being hit. Smart, clean boxing. For Thurman, Crawford's ring IQ and footwork will be his best defense.
Canelo is really, Canelo's going to be Canelo, man. He's really, I think all the variables lie on Crawford, Absolutely. Crawford is confident, but Crawford is outside of his zone. It's all about the training camp, the preparation, the extra weight, but still being agile, I believe that it's tactics and game plan. I hope he works behind that jab. I hope he works behind the feint, and I hope he uses small little angles and different things, almost like when Charlo got dropped, right? After he got dropped, he never got dropped again. And because he never got dropped again, there's evidence that a nice mover, keeping your hands up, you actually can not get hurt by Canelo. Now, that was not the keys to victory, because that was the keys of survival. But survival and tactics of not getting hit, the game of boxing is hit and not get hit.
Absolutely.
So to have the defense to...
Veteran trainer Brian Norman Sr. showed strong support for Terence Crawford, declaring, "That's my guy, always has been. I'm 100% behind him." Norman praised Crawford not only as a phenomenal boxer, but as a role model, pointing out how he trains alongside his children and avoids media controversies. This is Bud's era. He's focused, he's clean, he's leading by example. Norman predicted a Crawford win by decision, saying Bud's discipline, skills, and mental focus will carry him through.
I always go my dog Crawford, man. I'm with Crawford, man. I'm Crawford. I'm Team Crawford all the way, and I'm not just saying that, you know, for no other reason. I just think he's a great fighter. This is his era right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, he's a very great role model.
Yeah. But man, everything about Crawford is solid so far. So I'm going with Crawford.
Yeah, you know, you see these videos that he drops of him, you know, his kids training and stuff like that. And, you know, you don't see a lot of boxers do that.
I'm with all of that. I'm with all of that. He ain't out here being negative. He ain't out here in the, you know what I'm saying, the news, you know what I'm saying, giving bullshit. Like, it's all good right now.
If you could give us a prediction for that fight.
Former heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs didn't hesitate when asked for a prediction. Crawford wins by stoppage, he said. Briggs, who's known Crawford since his younger days, believes Bud's ambidextrous style and high fight IQ will confuse Canelo. Canelo struggles with slick fighters, and Bud is as slick as they come. Briggs added, he expects Crawford to gradually break Canelo down, take over in the later rounds, and finish him.
Great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid, you know, 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, it's a great experience, great to see.
Last question for me then, how do you think Crawford stops him? How do you think he's able to work Canelo enough for him to stop the fight, drop, knock him down? How do you think this is possible by Crawford style?
He gonna box him. He can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. You know, one thing Canelo showed is that he could be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, you know, I think Crawford gonna have.
Former champ Lamont Peterson praised both fighters, calling them two of the sport's most complete athletes. But when pressed for a winner, Lamont expressed concern. Canelo's punching power, that's what scares me. He hits really hard, he said. Peterson admires Crawford's courage, skill, and boxing IQ, but believes this fight poses serious physical risks. Meanwhile, Edgar Berlanga echoed this view, saying Crawford needs to enter the ring with confidence, stick to what made him great, and remind the world why he's a two-division undisputed champion. Moving up like this? It's no joke, Berlanga said. It's like me jumping to heavyweight. The size difference is real. Still, Berlanga saluted Crawford's bravery, adding that even in defeat, this move deserves respect.
He just gotta fight him. You know what I'm saying? He gotta go in there. I think Crawford just gotta go in there and do what he gotta do. You know what I'm saying? He gotta just be Crawford. You know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power. I'm a feel that size difference. You know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not. He can't really. He's testing himself. He's testing himself a great fighter. So. And I don't doubt him, you know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion.
Edgar Berlanga continued his assessment by pointing out that nothing will likely shake Terence Crawford, except for Canelo's physical strength and size. Berlanga doesn't believe Crawford will be able to stop Canelo, so the outcome will come down to strategy. When asked who he favors, Berlanga expressed clear support for Crawford, saying he believes Bud can win. Still, he acknowledged that Canelo's size, punching power, and experience are major threats. He's been in with much bigger guys. Crawford's strength won't bother him, Berlanga noted. In the end, he called it a true 50-50 matchup hinging on tactics and mental discipline.
Phase him in that fight, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out, so he just got to go in there just IQ.
Would you lean toward Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only that throws the fight off is the size, and you know, obviously the power, and Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ. You know what I'm saying? And
Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, you know. So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either. You know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's
Roy Jones Jr. offered his own unique take, stating that pre-fight face-offs and tough talk don't matter to him. What matters is what happens when the bell rings. Crawford looks calm, focused, and ready for this moment, Roy said. In contrast, he questioned whether Canelo still has the same hunger he once had, although he acknowledged that Canelo still loves the spotlight and wants to entertain fans. Roy admitted that Canelo could still win if he fights a perfect fight, but questioned whether he can truly do that at this stage. The key, Roy emphasized, will be Crawford's ability to deal with Canelo's strength and relentless pressure.
The pushing and shoving, I pay no attention to the weight factor. What I pay attention to is the skill level that both guys show in and out of the ring. And what I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford, a Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab the opportunity. And with Canelo, I see a guy who not necessarily hungry, but loves to entertain, loves to give us the big fights. Always tried to give the big fights. He finds a way to give us big fights. Not going to always win them, but he always tries to give them to us. So he'll be a guy that, if he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon.
Roy doubled down on his belief in skill over size. Real talent translates across weight classes, he explained. Crawford's technical skill is so sharp, Roy believes the size gap won't be the deciding factor. His main concern lies in whether Crawford can take punches from someone naturally bigger. He's probably sparred with super middleweights or light heavyweights, Roy said. But sparring is not the same as fight night. Still, he concluded, if you have real ring intelligence, your tools grow with you. Talent and experience beat physical stature any day.
Don't really matter much. All thing that matters with weight is can you take the punch? And I'm sure you've been sparring with super middles and light heavies, so I'm sure you probably can take the punch. So that's the only thing when you got skill. Now if you don't have a skill, you can't take the weight, take it up. Because you're gonna lose your punch, you're gonna lose everything. When you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT, I went out with a heavyweight.
No, it's a lot of the people, which is why I brought up, would use the weight as an advantage for Canelo. But I agree, and you're right. Canelo fights obviously taller fighters all the time and wins. It's about skill as opposed to, a lot of the time anyway, as opposed to weight.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not really worried about the weight. I'm worried about the skill level.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez praised both Crawford and Canelo, calling them intelligent, effective fighters, but leaned toward Canelo Alvarez because of his size, experience, and defensive skills. Sanchez pointed out that Canelo has absorbed huge shots from heavy hitters like Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, and Sergey Kovalev without breaking down. On the other hand, Sanchez observed that Crawford tends to get hit more even at 147 or 150 pounds. No matter how good he looks or how much weight he adds, facing a natural 168-pounder with Canelo's power is a different kind of test, he said.
Well, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that a coach I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's gonna...
Sanchez predicted that Crawford may win a few early rounds, using his timing, footwork, and IQ to keep Canelo off rhythm. But as the fight wears on, he expects Canelo's strength and control to take over. By round 6 or 7, Canelo will start landing clean and will dictate the tempo, Sanchez explained. He praised Canelo's upper body movement, defensive instincts, and punch timing, saying even though Canelo's feet don't move much, he slips, parries, and lands with precision. Sanchez drew comparisons to the Kell Brook versus Gennady Golovkin fight, where the faster man started strong but faded under power. He expects a similar arc here. Canelo may lose a few early rounds, but once he starts pounding away, it turns into a one-sided sparring session, he said. He throws bombs and doesn't worry about what's coming back. And when he lands big. His final take, Canelo either stops Crawford late or wins by a wide decision. And if it starts looking one-sided, Crawford's corner needs to think about protecting his health.